Sigma males and alpha males share a lot of the same personality traits and characteristics, which isn't a surprise when you consider that they sit at the same level in the social hierarchy, with beta and gamma males beneath them. But they aren't quite in exactly the same position. While equal in status, the Sigma male will choose to sit outside this hierarchy and observe from a distance, safe in the knowledge that he doesn't conform to the expectations of this social hierarchy. Despite being similar in many ways, there are several things that the Sigma male does so much better than the Alpha. And that's what we're going to be talking about in today's video. Number 9. Not feeling threatened or forced to compete. Alpha males are compulsive competitors and look to dominate their environment. They want to be the center of attention, and if they are not, then that can be problematic for them. Sigma males don't care about dominance or competing with anyone except for himself. He doesn't see other people as competition, and he doesn't feel threatened by them. Instead, he prefers to base his outlook on other people dependent on their skills and contribution, their individual personalities, and their attributes. He scoffs at the alpha male's innate need to compete and, frankly, sees it as a huge waste of time and energy. Number 8. Expressing himself without being aggressive. The alpha male is known to be dominant, loud, and boisterous, with the tendency to come across as pretty intimidating and aggressive, especially when it comes to expressing himself. But the Sigma doesn't like this type of personality, and while he shares common traits with the alpha male, he is definitely better at being able to express himself and his thoughts and opinions without aggression and intimidation. He stays calm, cool, and collected at all times, and if he gets into a heated discussion or tense situation, he is usually the only person capable to diffuse it. The Sigma male prefers to avoid confrontation, as he sees it as a waste of time and energy, so will prefer to cut his losses rather than battle it out. If he is forced into a state of combat, then he will rely on strategy to beat his opponent instead of the brute force that the Alpha relies on. And although the Sigma male may very well have brawn of his own, as he is likely to be a guy who spends time working on his physical health, he prefers to express himself using brains. Number 7. Being genuinely non-conforming. The Sigma male is well known for being a non-conformist and non-compliant with authority. This means he chooses to sit on the outside of the social hierarchy, along with all of its norms and expectations. He is the personification of a rebel without a cause, who goes against the grain, and this comes to him as naturally as breathing and sleeping. The Alpha, on the other hand, may pretend to rebel against society and brand himself as a bad boy, or a maverick who walks to the beat of his own drum, but the difference is that for the Alpha, this is all an act he puts on to stand out from the crowd and to get what he wants. The Sigma male doesn't follow trends. He doesn't feel the need to do things that society demands of him, or to behave in a way that is deemed as the right way to live. The Sigma's desire to walk his own path, follow his own instinct, and shake things up in order to stay true to himself might ruffle some feathers along the way, but there is nothing that can stop the Sigma from being his own man. Number 6. Staying authentic and true to himself. So it's no surprise that something the Sigma male does far better than his alpha male counterpart is staying true to who he is with his authentic nature. The Sigma knows exactly who he is, what he's about, and what he wants from life, and importantly, what he doesn't want. He won't ever sell out or go against his morals, ethics, and beliefs. He holds those as valuable as the Alpha does personal gain, whatever the price. The Sigma does not have time for people who sell their soul to the devil, and he prefers to live his life free from guilt and lies, even if he's the only one affected. He doesn't want to be lying on his deathbed one day filled with regrets for living a life not aligned with who he truly is as a person. The Alpha doesn't think that far ahead, and neither is he likely to care. The Alpha only cares about the present moment and what he can personally gain from it. Number 5. Relying on himself for validation. The Sigma male is just as confident as the Alpha male, but something that he does so much better is not having the need to depend on other people to feel validated. He knows that the importance of self-worth tops the opinions of anybody else. If you don't feel good about yourself, then who can you depend on to do so for you? The alpha, on the other hand, doesn't feel complete without feeling valued by his peers. He may have tons of mediocre friends in order to achieve this validation and increased feeling of self-worth, as opposed to the Sigma, who is more likely to have a much smaller group of very close friends. The Sigma doesn't see any sense in this whatsoever. He knows the validation you get from others is only temporary until you need another hit of validation from someone else. You can never achieve true fulfillment, and it means absolutely nothing if your self-worth doesn't come from within. For the Sigma, quality over quantity wins every time. Number 4. Being self-sufficient and liberated. As we learnt in number 5 on our list, one of the main traits to being a Sigma male is having a ton of self-resilience and independence. The Sigma has this in spades. Self-sufficiency is a trait that is most common in the Sigma archetype, and he does this far better than the Alpha does. The Alpha is more likely to need to rely on others to be enough, even though he would never admit it, of course. The Sigma, however, doesn't need anyone to take care of him or to do things for him to help him survive in this life. He recognizes his own problems and can easily solve them himself. However, he won't be ashamed to ask for help if he really needs it. After all, being able to ask for help can also be considered as being self-sufficient. But overall, the Sigma avoids relying on anyone else, including authority, to live in a way that allows him to control his own destiny and live in a way that is true to himself. For example, as a free spirit, he will be more likely not to own his own house, in exchange for the freedom that comes with renting. He relishes his liberty and ability to depend on himself, so it wouldn't be surprising to anybody if he decides to travel the world alone with nothing but a backpack and a passport. This doesn't faze him. If he encounters challenges, he has the confidence in himself to know that he will be able to handle them. Number 3. Respecting boundaries. Yes, the Alpha has tons of confidence, and yes, he's very extroverted, social, and likes to be the life and soul of the party. But there is one thing that the just as confident but more introverted Sigma male does so much better than the Alpha that might surprise you, and that is having respect for boundaries and the comfort levels of other people. In order to get what he wants, the Alpha will bulldoze, bully, and force his way through situations, manipulating others if need be without regard for their feelings or level of comfort with him. If the Alpha wants to talk to someone to fulfill whatever ulterior motive he has, he won't let anyone or anything stand in his way. He is likely to prey on those who are more empathetic and sensitive individuals, those more likely to remain polite and somewhat engaged and less likely to cause him a problem. How charming. The Sigma, on the other hand, wouldn't dream of continuing to talk or behave in a way that would make someone else feel uncomfortable. He understands the importance of personal boundaries and will always respect them, in turn expecting others to respect his own boundaries too. That seems fair enough. While the Alpha and Sigma are equally as charming and charismatic, the Sigma will read body language and act accordingly, whereas the Alpha may have also picked up on these social cues but won't care in the slightest. Number 2. Being alone. In comparison to the Alpha male, who needs socialization in order to feel re-energized and rejuvenated, the Sigma male is fantastically capable of the simple act of being alone. This is due to one of the main differences in personality types between the Alpha and the Sigma being extroversion versus introversion. As an introvert, with some describing them as an introverted Alpha, the Sigma male truly enjoys being alone, and he loves nothing more than just to be in his own company, as this is how he rejuvenates and re-energizes. Being alone gives him the space to work on himself, whether it's for his emotional, physical, or spiritual well-being, or working on personal projects. This explains why he doesn't tend to be such an avid user of social media, preferring instead to participate in meaningful activities such as developing and cultivating real relationships, new experiences, or gaining financial independence. Before we reach number 1 on our list of things that Sigma males do better than alphas, if you're enjoying this content, then don't forget to let us know by clicking the like button so we can bring you more of what you want, as well as helping the channel to grow. Number 1. Putting himself first, always. You may think this sounds like an alpha male behavior, and you would be mostly right. But one major difference is that an alpha will sacrifice his own needs and wants for the good of his tribe, sacrificing his own happiness by instead prioritizing the needs of highly valued members of said tribe before his own. The Sigma male, on the other hand, doesn't care what is good for the tribe, as he is a lone wolf. And unless the tribe serves as a short-term practical or rational solution for the Sigma, then he doesn't really want to know. He looks out for number 1 first and foremost, despite how others may perceive him for doing so. Whether it's a personal, professional, or romantic goal he's pursuing at that moment, he will prioritize that and ultimately himself above all else. That concludes our video on things that Sigma males do better than alphas. Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon to be alerted to future uploads from Bloke.